The second level of Trains is in Leadville, Colorado. In spite of the name, it was more of a gold mining town in the old days than a lead mining town. And here you, sure enough, handle iron ore. There's a picture of the town today from Wikimedia. And you also do a bit of logging in this scenario. I don't know how realistic that is, but you do. You take the ore to the factories, and you take the logs to the lumber mill. And you're given 2 log cars and 2 ore hoppers on your train. Leadville was actually founded in 1877 for the purpose of gold mining, and the Denver Rio Grande Western built a narrow gauge line there in 1880, which was then dual gauge in 1888, and they didn't completely standard gauge it until 1940, and then Southern Pacific took them over in 1988, and Union Pacific took Southern Pacific over in 1996. And the Colorado and Southern survives there to this day. Supposedly, the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy had control of the Colorado and Southern from 1908 to 1970. But today, the Colorado and Southern is a tourist railway. And it has its own independent brand. But most people associate Leadville with the Rio Grande narrow gauge lines. They had a lot more lines in Colorado in the old days than exist today, as you'd see narrow gauge railways throughout the country. In this game, it's not clear whether you have a narrow gauge or standard gauge train. It's a very, very basic, very old game. And I was a little bit disappointed when I first got it because it was marketed as Railroad Tycoon, even though it's not Railroad Tycoon. I don't know how they got away with that. They're not related to Microprose, they're not related to Sid Meier. They were just repackaging Trains from 1983 and whatever year it was. Late 80s, early 90s, when I got this. I ended up liking it anyway. Spent a lot of hours playing it. But for this long play, this was only my second complete game this year. And my first complete game this year was the first one I had played since, I don't know, maybe 1992, maybe? I'm not really sure about that. First one in many years, anyway. So I'm pleased that my gameplay isn't more disastrous now than it has to be. In fact, I might be better at this than I've ever been. I don't really know why. Maybe I've just played so many train games now that even one that I'm out of practice with, I don't do too badly on. Train is low on coal, they say. That is less of a dire situation than it appears to be, because if you run out of coal, the locomotive will be automatically refilled, unlike real life. So you don't actually have to go to that coaling tipple there. You can just wait till it runs out, and then your account there will be debited. But if you don't run out of money, you're all set. Basically, the only way to lose this game is to run out of money and run out of coal simultaneously. If you don't do that, you're all set. And so it sounds really easy. It is if you're attentive. It's not so easy when you're new to it, though. When I first got this game, I did have to struggle with it. Now you can see in the lower left, a track is being built through the mountains into the town, which will be my route out of town. it's complete, and I'll go to the next town and the next level. Looks as if I'm going to run out of coal before that happens, though. And you'll see it auto-reload any second. I'm actually playing this level pretty well here. Basically, I'm unable to fill the train because the logging camp and the ore mine there are basically empty. So I get little scraps when I go there. Which is basically what you want to do in this game. You wouldn't necessarily want to run things that way in real life, but that's how you score this game. You go faster than you have to go. And serve people better than you have to serve them. And then you get your track out of town that much faster. That coal reloading did in fact eat up my money, though. You can see my money's way down there. That's unavoidable. And it says okay to go to the next town, so that will be the next level and the next video. Although, to get the money, I'm going to make one final delivery to the factory over there, because I still have some ore in the train. Overshot it by a little bit there. And we're off. Highballing to the next town.